All right, good morning. It's day 19. Day 19. And today I'm dealing with shaking off offensiveness and defensiveness. And when I say that, I mean the spirit of offense. And I've never heard it as far as the spirit of defense, but just being defensive all the time, on the defense at all times. So just shaking off those things, right? And so when I looked up the two words, I looked up the word offense, and it says annoyance or resentment brought about by a perceived insult to or disregard for oneself or one's standards or principles. And another definition said resentful displeasure. And then when I looked up defensiveness, it says the quality of being anxious to challenge or avoid criticism. And then it said a self-perceived flaw or a threat from outsiders. And the last definition said devotes an appreciable portion of energy to defending oneself. And so, looking at those two definitions and looking at what I wrote down, it said shaking off offensiveness and defensiveness. So, when I look at that, as far as having to shake something off, that means that's something that we don't need. That's something that's extra, that's on us, that's burdening us, that's weighing heavy on us, that we need to get rid of. We need to shake it off. We need to get rid of it. And so when looking at walking in offensiveness, that means that I'm offended by just about everything that's said to me or done to me, or even a perceived notion of what someone else is feeling or thinking. And then with being defensive, that means that I'm expending, this says devotes an appreciable portion of energy to defending oneself. So that means that I'm all worked up. I'm ready. Before you even say anything, I'm ready to defend myself. I'm ready to defend my character. I'm ready to defend my honor. I'm ready to defend. So I'm walking around in a ready mode. I'm always just ready. And I thought about that, and I thought about what that does to our bodies. What that does to our mind, to our hearts, to our demeanors, it just causes us to be on edge all the time. It causes us to be in a posture of ready. Like there's no rest, there's no relaxation. It's always, my mind is constantly going. So I have no room to just take a moment, take a breath. I don't have room for that because I'm constantly on the ready. You know what I mean? Imagine just living a life like that. Imagine living a day like that. It's a lot. It's a lot to think about. It's a lot to take in. And when I was sitting here just studying this, I was like, wow, that, you don't think about it in everyday life, but it's a lot. And it weighs heavy on us. It weighs on us emotionally. It weighs on us mentally. And it weighs on us physically. Yeah, our physical body is worn out. Our mental state is just worn out emotionally because we're constantly knowing that somebody is against us. We always feel like we're under attack. So we're on the defense at all times. So I wrote down a couple of things. I wrote down being offended causes us to limit ourselves from walking in total freedom. I also wrote down that when we are offended, we aren't always willing to completely hear conversations. And so I want to change that word from hear to listen to conversations. Because remember, we talked about hearing and listening, and it's how it's two different things. So when we are offended, we aren't always willing to completely listen to conversations. Our heart posture has us not willing to listen and receive anything that we have on our mind, anything that we have our mind set on, our thoughts and feelings, and we don't see it any other way. So in other words, we're not receiving anything that's told to us or anything that that comes our way. We're not willing to receive it, even if it's the right thing, because our heart and our mind is already set on we're gonna defend this, or we're already offended. So we're not listening to anything that comes about. And it may be something good for us. It may be something to help us, to get to the next place. But because our heart posture is already set in that way, in that offended way, or in that defensive mode, we're already on go. So we've missed it. We've missed all of that, just being in that posture. And then I also said it's very hard to heal with an offended heart. It's very hard to completely heal with an offended heart because you're not open. Your heart's not open to receive anything because there's a blockage there. You think about health-wise with your blood flow, how the heart pumps. The heart pumps and the blood flows to every area of your body. But if there's a blockage there, then it's not getting to where it needs to function. Then you have blood clots, strokes, different things happen because there's no blood flow. And so you think about how when you're trying to intake in information and you're trying to receive healing, but there's a blockage there because there's an offense there. I can't receive anything because I'm offended. I'm on the defense, so I can't receive anything that's being said or brought to me because I'm on the defense. I'm here. But I'm blocked, so I can't receive anything. You get what I'm saying? So it's learning to recognize those things. Recognize, why am I in that posture? Why do I immediately go to that? Why do I immediately think about that? That is a blockage. Anything that you can't get over it. It's a block. You think about how sometimes I was watching something and it had they had like a landslide or whatever off of a mountain, and the whole street was blocked. So it was cars backed up all the way to around the mountain. And you think about things like that how you going to get over that? You can't back up and go all the way around. You have to sit there and wait until officials come and get it out and take it piece by piece. And it's the same thing with us. Those things that are around our hearts, those things that we're holding on to, we have to deal with those things piece by piece so that we can get a continual flow. We can get through those things. We have blockages in our heart, blockages in our mind. And these are natural things I'm talking about. Things that we think about all the time. We just can't let it go because we just keep thinking about it. People have gone on and they've done their things and we don't even see them anymore, but we still hold on to what happened. You know what I mean? We're holding on to what happened. And I'm not saying that because what happened is okay because it was so long ago. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it was okay. What I'm saying is there comes a time where we have to allow ourselves to heal. We have to allow ourselves to forgive. We have to allow ourselves to move past a certain place that we're not stuck in that moment. You know what I mean? Not to say it didn't happen to us, not to say that it didn't hurt us, that it didn't affect us in some way, but to say that we cannot stay stuck in that place. We just cannot remain there. Our actions, our thoughts, we can't just stay there. Whether they make it right and whether they apologize, whether they, ever admit that they did it, whatever the case may be, we can't stay there. We can't stay in that broken place. We have to work on healing for us. Not for them, but for us. You know what I mean? We got to work on that offensiveness and defensiveness. Yes, we want to use wisdom to not allow those things to happen again. We want to use wisdom in that area. But we don't want to be in such a defensive posture that we can't allow anything to get in. I think about it. I was talking to someone and they were talking about, coming out of relationships and all that kind of stuff. And it was just some of the things that they were saying. It was like, wow, I wonder if they'll ever let anybody get even close enough to, be in a relationship. And then, just by the words that were coming out of their mouth, the things that they were saying, I was like, I wonder if they're ever healed enough to allow anybody else in. You know what I'm saying? And you see that, and you see that a lot. Sometimes you've been through so much, you're just so guarded, and you're just so stuck, and you're like, no, this will never ever happen to me again. I'm gonna make sure of it. And I get that. And yeah, you look for the signs. You look for the signs, and you know it because it's familiar. So you're like, yeah, I'm not going that route. But if you're in a place where it's just like, you can't even get to the place where you're even allowing anyone to come your way or even have a conversation with you because your defenses are up, how are you ever going to move past that place? You know what I mean? So that's where that healing comes in. That healing from those things, from those hurts. And praying, using wisdom is always good. It's needed, much needed. But you also have to allow your heart to heal. And to not cause a blockage to be there to where nothing can get through. You know what I mean? So that's why when I looked at this, that's what it did for me. It caused me to think about those things. It caused me to look at that. And when it says shaking off offensiveness, that means that's something that is weighing me down. It's something that I'm carrying. I'm holding it. So I'm carrying it. And I don't need to carry it. I don't want to walk around offended all the time. I don't want to walk around on guard, because I'm in a defensive mode. Just at all times. Where's my time to breathe? Where's my time to relax? Where's my time to rest? Where's my time to just be, just be that person that I'm called to be? If I'm always on the defense, if I'm always offended by something, that means I'm constantly fighting. Wow. That means I'm constantly fighting. I'm exerting my energy. I don't have a moment to sit and really process and think and clearly hear the voice of God. My spirit is not settled. I'm not getting anything. Nothing's coming in because I'm constantly fighting. I'm constantly fighting. So on today, I just encourage us all, and this is for me as well. I encourage us all to think about that, to look for those triggers, to look for those stances to where I feel like I'm fighting so hard in. Where I'm fighting so hard in those conversations where soon as it comes my way, I'm like, I'm on guard. I'm ready to defend. I want to look at that more. I want to look into that more and find out where the offense is and deal with it. Deal with that. Where did that offense happen? Because sometimes this triggers something that happened years ago. And I need to find out what that years ago was so that I can deal with it and properly go through this so that my heart posture won't be offensive, be that of an offended person or that of a defensive person. I'm always on the defense. I'm always, just on the ready to defend myself. Right? So that's what this has done for me this morning, to cause me to think about that and to think about how to work through it. So I encourage you to think about those type of things and to find out, study yourself and find out where is it and how to go about shaking off that offensiveness, praying in the Spirit and just talking to the Holy Spirit and just saying, help me, show me where it is. So that I can get this out of me. So that I can deal with it now. Want to deal with it now. Because I don't want it to keep going on and then I have to deal with it publicly. Yeah. Because like I always say, if it's here, it's going to come out. So I encourage you to think about that, and let's work on that. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye bye.